Harshdeep sir, can you please say something on the podium's mic so that we can check?
Hello, hello.
So is it working fine?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Are we clearly audible?
So is it
Some.
working?
हाँ, it seems to be. ठीक लग रहा है. Volume increase करना है.
थोड़ा सा increase
Vol-
increase it.
increase the volume slightly. Yeah.
So it's because of the sound outside, that's why.
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
So check it now. Rohan sir, please check it now. I'm here.
Good evening, everyone. We are. ठीक है? आवाज़ ठीक है? हाँ.
नहीं बोल रही हूँ बिकॉज अपने ही बनने का इतना तारीफ करना अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. नो अब ये बोलने का अब यस से फॉर्मूला है फिर उसके बाद चीफ स्पेशल डिग्निफाइड नो व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड डिस्टिंग्विश सो बेसिकली वी वुड नाउ लाइक टू कर इट नो ऐसे चेंज हो गया 4 मिनट का
बोल भाई.
And they want to give it to. So Sagar sir told कि arrange कर देना इनके.
When do they want to give it to us? बताओ.
Into Sagar sir will tell. So
अच्छा सर गल्प से बताएंगे ठीक है आप पीछे ठीक आप पीछे वहाँ प्लांट्स है ना आप हमारे
इस तरफ
रेस्ट्री
प्लांट
ये क्या है
this is shoal and women.
कुछ सॉल और मोमेंटो और वो सब आया सब देख लीजिए. कब सर ने जो
What would be the preferable time we can accommodate?
and a 2017 Masters alum of Gandhinagar National Law University. She is currently pursuing her PhD from NLI. She has been in the academic profession last 5 years.
Graduated from Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law in 2020. She has been working with Kachwana and Barnes, a boutique law firm based out of Delhi. Mr. Ishan Chauhan graduated in 2021 from National Law Institute University, Bhopal, and currently serves as law assistant to Honorable Chief Justice High Court of Judicature at Patna. He is an author with 3 books and numerous short pieces to his credit.
तुम अपने फोन लगा के रखना उसको
Greetings and warm welcome from the CAN Foundation. With the commencement of this ceremony, we'd like to welcome our guests on dais. Please extend a warm welcome to one and all. We'd like to invite on dais Mr. Sriram Barakat, Chairman, CAN Foundation. Mr. Sriram Barakat is a graduate of the National University of Advanced Legal Studies, Kochi, from the batch of 2020. He's been practicing independently since 2013, appearing before the Delhi High Court, the Kerala High Court, the Supreme Court of India, amongst other courts. In the past decade, Mr. Barakat has cemented his position in the law community through his hard work and dedication, and the sky is the limit for his success. We would now like to welcome our guests of honor. We would request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to escort Mr. Vikas Singh, Senior Advocate, President, Supreme Court Bar Association. We would like to seek a short passover for the same, and we'll be inviting him on stage shortly after he arrives. We would request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to escort Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, Senior Advocate, Bar Council of India. In a historic feat, Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra has been elected as the Chairman of the Bar Council of India for the 6th time in a row, unopposed. He has been relentlessly espousing the cause of advocates community in the country. He has been unanimously elected as the chairman because of his quality of dynamic leadership and commitment for the cause of the bar and standard of legal education. Most recently, Mr. Mishra has played a pivotal role in the establishment of the Bar Council of India's Law University at Goa. Mr. Mishra has managed to ensure that the Bar Council acts as a unified and cohesive unit to ensure promotion of a strong, vibrant and independent bar and bench. Please extend a warm welcome to Mr. Mishra. We would now request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to escort Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, Chairperson, Armed Forces Tribunal.
Justice Menon hails from Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh and graduated from NES Law College. Justice Menon was elevated to the Madhya Pradesh High Court as an additional judge on 1st April 2002, where he served until his elevation as the Chief Justice of the Patna High Court on 15th March 2017. He was transferred as Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court in 2018. His Lordship debuted this venerated office on 6th June 2019 and currently serves as the chairperson to a generation of lawyers and has motivated them to excel in their professions despite adversities. His Lordship started his journey in the chambers Justice of the Delhi High Court. Justice Sharma has also played an important role in shaping the face of legal education, having served as the Chancellor of Nalsar, Hyderabad and NLU Delhi. It is pertinent to mention that he is considered as one of behind the International Arbitration and Mediation Center in Hyderabad, which was inaugurated last year and in a short span has created an international presence and footprint for itself. The initiatives taken by Justice Sharma helped bring down the pendency of cases in the courts to a great extent. In his zeal to deliver justice, he has never left any counsel unheard. We would now request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to please welcome our special guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Abhay Srinivas Oak, Judge, Supreme Court. Justice Oak completed his LLM from Mumbai University. He started his career as an advocate in the Thane District Court in the chambers of his esteemed father, Mr. Srinivas Vaman Oak, and later joined the chambers of the distinguished senior counsel, Mr. Vijay Parshuram Kipnis. In 2003, he was appointed as an additional judge of the Bombay High Court and was made a permanent judge in 2005, where he served for more than 13 years. He was appointed as the Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court in 2019 before being elevated as a Supreme Court judge in 2021. Sir is notably known as a People's Judge and has authored several judgments on civil liberties, environmental protection and better living conditions. His conviction to uphold justice, harbingering social change and preserving administrative accountability can be very well reflected through some of his judgments. In his 2020 judgment of Soumya R. Reddy and others versus State of Karnataka, issues such as right to protest and requirements of Section 144 of CRPC were addressed. In the case of Rajesh Yadav versus State of Uttar Pradesh, setting up night shelters for the homeless across urban areas in the state was directed. Justice Oak has been the torchbearer of protecting individual rights through his valued judgments. We're honored to have you with us today, sir. We would now like to request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to please escort our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gavai, Judge, Supreme Court. Justice Gavai enrolled as an advocate and started practicing at the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court. He served both as a government pleader as well as a special public prosecutor. He was appointed as a judge of the Bombay High Court in 2003 and served in that position for 16 years before being elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court. His judicial consciousness and zeal to protect human rights, along with his command on administrative justice, is very well reflected in his numerous notable judgments, such as the Anuradha Bhasin case of 2020, wherein it was asked of the Jammu and Kashmir administration to review all orders imposing curbs on telecom and internet services. Union of India versus State of Maharashtra, which partially set aside portions of a division bench verdict in favor of the downtrodden classes under Article 15 Clause 4 of the Constitution, among many others. Justice Gavai has not just pronounced some excellent judgments, but has also been known for his relief-oriented approach for the litigants, so much so that the counsels lined up for getting their turn in his court in Bombay. It can be fairly articulated that the aura and acumen of Justice Gavai has been most awe-inspiring for years altogether. We would now like to request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to please escort the luminary that we are celebrating today, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajay Manik Rao Khanvilkar, the inspiration and reason behind this august gathering. A few words of introduction are insufficient to describe the magnanimous persona of Justice Khanvilkar, and so, even though an introduction is not a requisite for a person of his stature, we would not deprive ourselves of the opportunity and introduce the distinguished guest at a later point in this evening with the help of a special presentation.
Prasoon Joshi, the Indian poet, writer, lyricist, screenwriter and Padma Shri awardee of 2015, said the following lines: एक आसमां कम पड़ता है और आसमां मंगवा दो, हैं बेसब्र उड़ाने मेरी, पंख ये नीले रंगवा दो। स्वप्न करोड़ों सत्य हो रहे, अब उनका सत्कार करो। निकल पड़ा है भारत मेरा, अब सब जय जयकार करो। Our national anthem emphasizes how, despite diversities in culture, tradition, religion, languages, India as a varied nation is unified under one flag. May we now request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. सावधान।
On this note, we are gathered today to celebrate a very special day. We would now request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to please escort Honorable Mr. Justice Vikram Nath, Judge, Supreme Court of India. I would request one and all present here to please extend a warm welcome. On this note, we are gathered here today to celebrate a very special day, to commemorate the illustrious judicial innings of our most distinguished guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Khanvilkar. This is a time of sentiments, expression of gratitude, and sharing of experiences. Through the years, your Lordship has contributed vastly to the legal field. Honorable Mr. Justice Khanvilkar is an embodiment of humbleness, patience, moral courage, and high ethics. Your Lordship has a reputation for honesty, integrity, and fairness. And today, we have the good fortune of celebrating this day with one and all present here.
Light and brightness represents positive and good spirits. By lighting a lamp, the lamp becomes a form of fire, or tej in Sanskrit. The lamp burns not to be the light itself, but merely as a message to remind everyone of peace, serenity, and positivity. Lighting a lamp spreads divine grace. It is a symbol of fire, one of the 5 elements of nature, and assimilates the guiding light of the sun, the light setting forth upon the path which seekers must walk to fulfill their goals and duties. We now invite Honorable Justice Khanvilkar, Honorable Justice Gavai, Honorable Justice Oak, and Honorable Justice Nath, and all our guests on the dais to please light the ceremonial lamp. Sir.
Honorable Chief Justice
जस्टिस साहब को भी कॉल कर लो, हम सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट एडजस्ट कर लो।
आप करो ना।
ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस साहब को भी कॉल कर लेना, ठीक।
सर An excerpt from Brihadaranyaka reads as Asito ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityur ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Lead me from the untruth to the truth. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
सर बिठाओगे कहाँ? श्री राम के पास। श्री राम को चेयर दे देंगे ना साइड में, श्री राम की चेयर पे दे देंगे लास्ट में। कितने लोग हैं?
May I request my colleagues at the CAN Foundation to kindly escort Honorable Justice Ravi Malimat, Chief Justice of the Honorable High Court of Madhya Pradesh, to come on the dais, please.
May I please request Mr. Rajat Mittal to welcome Mr. Manan Mishra to this evening. Mr. Rajat Mittal with Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman Bar Council of India. May I request Mr. Sankalp Sharma to please welcome Chief Justice Ravi Malimat, Madhya Pradesh High Court. May I request Mr. Shohit Chaudhary to please welcome Justice S.C. Sharma, Chief Justice, Delhi High Court. May I please request Mr. Sriram Parakkat to welcome Mr. Justice Rajendra Menon, Chairperson, Armed Forces Tribunal. May I request Gurdas Khurana to please welcome Mr. Justice Vikram Nath, Judge, Supreme Court of India. May I please request Mr. Vishnu Shankar to please welcome Justice Abhay Srinivas Oak, Judge, Supreme Court of India. May I request Mr. Harshdeep Singh Bedi to please welcome our chief guest, Mr. Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gavai. May I please request Mr. Rohan Harne to welcome our distinguished guest, Justice A.M. Khanvilkar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. The Confederation of Alumni for National Law Universities, that is CAN Foundation, was established in 2019 for the promotion of access to the legal fraternity for students and alumni of all the national law universities in India. The thought behind the cause was a robust integration of the student community with the already well-established alumni in such a fashion that it paves the way for more opportunities within different avenues of law. The foundation began as a movement at NLIU Bhopal and has since grown to include all NLUs across the country, with members and graduates eager to contribute to the objective of increased access to legal education. Today, we have an expansive donor list of more than 250 people and have helped more than 90 students by means of our various initiatives. A very basic idea of connecting the alumni of all national universities culminated in a full-fledged organization, not just vertically, but horizontally as well. Our vision is simple, an attempt to eliminate the financial difficulties that obstruct the path of development for aspiring lawyers. Every student we help provides for his or her family, and our efforts might just be a mere drop in the ocean, but we hope that the ripple effect can help hundreds and thousands of families, one student at a time. An excerpt taken from Sri Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 40, inspires us to keep making consistent efforts and reads as follows. Nehabhi kramana shosti, pratyavayo na vidyate, swalpamapyasya dharmasya, trayate mahato bhayat. इस निष्काम कर्मयोग के मार्ग में जो कुछ भी एक बार किया जा चुका है उसका नाश नहीं होता, कोई बाधा भी नहीं होती। इस कर्मयोग रूप धर्म का थोड़ा सा अनुष्ठान भी हृदय को बड़े से बड़े भय से मुक्त करा देता है। We would now like to introduce everyone to the inception and activities of CAN Foundation with the help of a short video.
light.
We would request our colleagues at the CAN Foundation to escort Mr. Vikas Singh, Senior Advocate, President, Supreme Court Bar Association. Mr. Singh has been elected the President of the Supreme Court Bar Association for the second time. Besides regularly featuring on primetime debates on news channels, he is often heard making strong pitches on the system of judicial appointments, lawyers' rights, and adapting to new administrative measures. Especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, he has been practicing over 30 years, having started his legal profession in 1990. He was designated as a senior advocate in 2004 and served as the Additional Solicitor General for India from 2005 to 2008. He leads from the front and follows what he preaches. While raising funds for giving financial assistance to members during COVID, he was one of the first ones to make a generous contribution before requesting others to contribute. While introducing vaccination in the SCBA for the first time, a time where everybody was skeptical of the concept, he was one of the first ones to get vaccinated to give confidence to others. He's also a tennis enthusiast. He became a member of the International Lawn Tennis Club and, being a member, played tennis throughout the world. He represented India in the Wimbledon of 1999. Mr. Singh graciously lends financial support to organizations engaged in working for betterment of underprivileged and differently abled children and supports the organizations teaching girl education. He is seen as one of the bold personalities taking a clear stance on matters of judicial and legal concern, at times even being vocal in calling a spade, no matter what the consequences. We would request our colleague at the CAN Foundation, Mr. Abhikal Pratap Singh, to please present a memento to Mr. Singh. Now we would request our colleague at the CAN Foundation, Mr. Vishnu Shankar, to please present a plant to Mrs. Khanvilkar. I would on this note like to introduce two flagship events of our foundation. The foundation has raised generous funds for underprivileged students and young advocates under its flagship projects. Under Project Eklavya, students are provided with scholarships which help them attain quality education and pave better opportunities in their future. Since its inception, Eklavya has assisted more than 90 students from diverse backgrounds, disbursing over 80 lakhs in scholarships. At the end of the third edition, Eklavya has now emerged as one of the largest non-governmental scholarship programs for law students in the country. Started in the year 2020, Project Dhananjay is a step to helping meritorious graduates from national law universities who wish to take up litigation as a career, but who are also in need of financial assistance and may be deterred from pursuing the same. The project has assisted more than 13 students with a stipend of more than 15 lakhs. We would also now humbly request all of you to please take a look at our annual magazine, Chandragupt, kept on your seats. It records the visions and achievements of our foundation. The magazine is available in hard copy as well as e-copy and has a readership of more than 1 lakh a year. Now, it includes the links to important events such as Dhananjay, Eklavya, Paritran, our academic venture Vednam, and many more symposiums and webinars. It encapsulates our moment of gratitude, reflections of the past, and plans for the future. All of this with the immense bulwark and selfless devotions of our honorable patrons and well-wishers. We hope that our initiatives of the foundation have been successful in bringing about a small change in the country.
Mr. Siddharth Radhilal Gupta graduated from National Law Institute University in 2006. He is an advocate practicing regularly before a number of courts in the country, including the Honorable Supreme Court, the Honorable High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Delhi High Court. May I now request Mr. Siddharth Gupta to please address this audience.
Am I audible? Yes. We are used to this because of the video conferencing facility introduced during the COVID. Thank you, Aditya, for inviting me. नमस्ते तुभ्यम। भारतीय शैली में मेरा आप सभी को सादर प्रणाम एवं नमस्कार। Our distinguished guest, Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Khanwilkar, Honorable Mr. Justice B.R. Gavai, Honorable Mr. Justice A.S. Oak, Honorable Mr. Justice Vikram Nath, Honorable Mr. Justice Ravi Malimat, the Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Rajendra Menon, Chairperson Armed Forces Tribunal, Mr. Vikas Singh, President Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman Bar Council of India, Honorable judges from various high courts present in the audience, my colleagues, alumni members, students in the CAN Foundation, and other guests present in the audience. A very warm welcome and good evening to all of you. The famous Bhakti saint Kabir Das ji said, Guru Govind dou khade, काके लागू पाए, गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपने जिन गोविंद दियो बताए. So Kabir Das ji, when he is confronted with a dilemma of both Guru and Govind, that is God standing before him, whom to bow first? He says, we must bow to our Guru first because he is the one who has facilitated the realization and interaction with Govind, that is God. And out of the two, therefore, Guru comes first. Prasthanam today in Prasthanam, we therefore bow to our Guru of our foundation, Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Khanwilkar. Prasthanam, the name Prasthanam has been decided after deep thought, deliberations and discussions. The name of the ceremony is very important. The title is very important and it must always suit the stature of the person whom we are celebrating. Honorable Justice Khanwilkar is a visionary, he is a leader, he is an institution in himself, and more than that, more than above all, he has been a mentor, guide for all of us at the foundation. The title of this ceremony had to be commensurate with the role he has played in the origin and the growth trajectory, the northward growth trajectory of the organization. In an increasingly westernized world, where India has also not remained untouched, especially the generation of this century, through Prasthanam we have made a little endeavor to imbibe the spirit of Indianism. India had a very opulent heritage, a magnificent culture, custom, and tradition base, much of which has eroded over the passage of time. At one point of time, the Indian civilization was a reason of awe for the whole world. Many civilizations which started after the Indian civilization, before the Indian civilizations, but ended before it, but Indian traditions, customs, heritage continues even today. Through Prasthanam, therefore, the idea is to remember, reminisce, and celebrate the pride of our rich cultural traditions and heritage, which is very important for all of us as it is the backbone of our survival. Our Vedas and Shastras say that when we undertake any initiative with a clear heart and a pure mind, the cosmic forces of the universe conjoin hands to create coincidences that make its execution possible. One of the examples I would like to quote from Sri Ramcharitmanas. Ram himself was incarnation of God. but he was never able to cross the Indian Ocean to reach Lanka. He had to fall in need of army of apes to pick up boulders, create a pathway which is known as Ram Setu also, and walk barefoot to Lanka. Hanuman, on the other hand, who was his devotee, in his mere name, not only took a leap directly to Lanka, killed all the demons in the way, burned the houses of Adharmis, sat on the nose of Ravan, told him that your end is imminent if you don't do the course correction. Met Sita and assured her that Ram is coming behind to rescue you, and comes back without any abrasion or injury. This is all happening in a name. And the person wasn't even aware of. He was sitting somewhere 1,000 kilometers away in what is to modern days Karnataka. That is the power of a name. The person himself pales into insignificance. But when we do anything in the name of a person, the universal forces, the forces of the cosmos create together to help us and further the cause. Prasthanam, therefore, I would say, with due respect to Honorable Justice Khanwilkar, is not to celebrate the person sitting here only. It was to celebrate his name, his institution, his identity. Another aspect of why we are having Prasthanam. The Advaita school of thought that originated from our Upanishads says, Aham Brahmasmi, मैं ही ब्रह्म हूँ. नर ही नारायण है, मनुष्य ही ब्रह्म है. All of us have heard it at some point of our life in visiting these spiritual or the pilgrimage places. When somebody does karma incessantly for decades, diligently, sincerely, without being attached to its fruits, he gets elevated himself from a normal human being to a superhuman being. We don't realize, but we get elevated ourselves from a normal human being to a superhuman being with supernatural forces around us. That is the sthiti that is the movement of a human from human to superhuman, that is from Manushya to the Brahm. That is what the Advaita school of thought says. As I see from here, from my little eyes and my destructible body, for example, not excluding others, for example, Honorable Justice Gavai, Honorable Justice Oak, Honorable Justice Sharma, Honorable Justice Malimat, Mr. Neeraj Kishan Kaul, Mr. Dhruv Mehta, all of you, for me, from a spiritual perspective, you have elevated yourself from the human to the superhuman status. I'll explain it scientifically. Somebody is writing verdicts, somebody is authoring judgments, somebody is arguing landmark cases which has the potential to affect the lives of millions, including those who cannot afford even 2 square meals a day. This is what is elevating yourself to a status where your actions and deeds start affecting the lives of millions. What you say, what you do affects the society at large. Now, why I am saying all this is, when somebody of such a supernatural status accords you his identity, lends you his name, gives you a finger to hold it, walk through the staircase, climb through the staircase, and in the process you grow yourself, we owe a duty of gratitude and indebtedness to such a person. When we are expressing our gratitude to such a person, we are not thanking that person. We are thanking the God, the Almighty, the cosmic powers which have connected us to that person, which gives us that power to be visible, that power to be imminent, that power to lead the society. And that is why in Prasthanam, we are expressing our gratitude to one of those supernatural forces because of whose idea, whose vision Can Foundation was founded, who gave us finger to walk and grow northwards. That is Justice Khanwilkar. Destiny, it is said, always has a way to bring itself to actuality. We have to look for that door in our life, how we have to lead ourselves from destiny to actuality. I distinctly remember that evening of 3rd March 2019, some of us went to see off Justice Khanwilkar at the Jabalpur airport. He came to attend some important function at the Madhya Pradesh High Court. As fate would have it, the flight was delayed by an hour. So we were sitting in the reserved lounge. It was at that point of time Justice Khanwilkar said that why don't you form an umbrella organization which should take all the NLUs in its fold, with the charity being the primary objective. The idea to start with was quite utopian. It was very difficult to conceive, and therefore a shot was fired in the air and everybody forgot. We came back to our residences. A fortnight later, I was visiting this temple town of Tirupati, which is the internationally famous abode of Lord Venkateshwara. Being an ordinary non-VIP person, we have to wait for 2-3 hours to have a glimpse of Lord Venkateshwara there. In the background, a verse from 18th chapter, that is the 57th verse from 18th chapter of Gita was being played as I was waiting in the queue, where Lord Krishna tells Arjun, do not be attached to the fruits. Perform your karma for the purpose of performing it, and then surrender that whole karma, surrender that performance execution to me. I'll show you the way, I'll lead you the way. You'll automatically find yourself on the path of doing another karma which will take you northwards. I would like to read that shlok for all of you, and I think everybody must remember here. It says, Chetsa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhi yoga mupashritya mat chittaha satatam bhava. As I heard this shlok, the translation was in Telugu and Hindi both. It's in Andhra. The bell had started ringing, and somewhere the idea was reviving slowly and slowly of that organization, that umbrella organization which we were advised by Justice Khanwilkar. I came back to Delhi, met him, touched his feet, took his blessings to start something like this. And that is how Can Foundation was founded almost 3 years back, more than 3 years back now, 3.5 years. The journey of Can Foundation has been tumultuous, difficult, but equally rewarding in nature. I must say, if we have grown because of the positive vibes, support of our patrons, well-wishers, donors, everybody who has wished well for the foundation. For an organization, for a self-sustaining organization like this, like a Can Foundation, which has to generate funds from the larger public, we cannot grow unless and until, beyond a particular limit, unless and until we have a credibility. The base of credibility, the sheet anchor of that credibility we got was Justice Khanwilkar himself. In fact, in the last 3 years, we have helped around 85 to 90 students, both undergrads and grads, with a scholarship support of 1.25 crore plus, which is a little what we have done so far, and we intend doing much more in the times to come. I am thankful to all the patrons and donors who have extended their helping hand in the last 3 years, without whose help, especially the leading senior advocates of the country who are coming forward to help us. The fact that 50 plus leading senior councils from the country are helping and have helped the foundation is an indicia of the fact that we have been able to win a little bit of trust in the society. However, at the same time, in the same breath, I must say that we owe an equal responsibility and accountability to meet the aspirations and expectations of everybody wishing well for us. As I close my speech, I would like to thank a few people who have been very, very crucial and who have played a vital role in the organization of Prasthanam. The first is Honorable Justice Gavai. He is an epitome of humility, modesty, and affability, especially for junior members of the bar. My prejudices in the last 20 years have been that a Judge of the Supreme Court, Honorable Judge of the Supreme Court, who is in line to be the Chief Justice of India, is generally inaccessible to anybody, especially the junior members of the bar. However, in case of Justice Gavai, I stand proven wrong. We used to request him in the last 3 months whilst preparing for Prasthanam. We used to request him for 2 minutes and encroach his time and program for 45 minutes, and even then he used to see off with a sweet smile, which is something even now the sweet smile is coming as I confess our encroachment on his territory. So I am really thankful to you. The other day, my father met you. I must tell, my father met you at the Justice Khanwilkar's farewell dinner, and he told me that you must always touch the feet of this gentleman. He is what he is inside what he is outside. One of those rare personalities. I must also thank Honorable Justice Oak for his gracious support for the convening of the whole event today. When this thought struck for giving a farewell to Honorable Justice Khanwilkar, it was like a white Aravat elephant standing in front of us. Where to hold it from? Where to get people to invite to constitute the dais from? It was then that one of our patrons and our beloved senior advocate, Mr. Siddharth Bhatnagar, we approached him. He said that I'll try. He spoke to he's not here, Mr. Nikhil Sakardhande, senior advocate from Bombay High Court. And both of them got us appointment with Honorable Justice Oak. And thereafter, we left no stone unturned in taking favors from him for this ceremony. I am apologetic for that, sir, for disturbing you also. But I must say something. As I see this delightful scene of Justice Oak sitting beside Justice Khanwilkar, it is a tributary scene of Ram and Lakshman sitting beside each other from our Ramayana. And may this Jodi, Ram Lakhan Jodi, always stay for long, wherever your journey goes. I must also thank Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, Mr. Vikas Singh, Honorable Justice Satish Chand Sharma, Mr. Manan K. Mishra, and Honorable Justice Vikram Nath. Honorable Justice Vikram Nath, who has agreed to give speech at the last minute. I think that's the most important role you are performing, sir, agreeing to give the speech at the last minute, and which will be extempore. All others might be prepared, but I'm sure what is coming from Honorable Justice Vikram Nath's heart would be, coming from Justice Vikram Nath's side would be right from his heart and nothing less. I must thank all my colleagues, alumni members, and students at the CAN Foundation. The 100+ team, around 50 are here in the auditorium in the dress code and the badges you will see. 100+ have been working on a war footing for the last 3 months, incessantly, relentlessly. I apologize to all of them if I have at any point of time rubbed you on the wrong side or offended you with my words. But trust me, I may be speaking from here, but the success is all yours. And if there is oversight or failure, that is mine, because I was not able to monitor it. I must also thank the effort partners, the media partners, knowledge partners, everybody who has been the part of this journey of 3 years. At times, the journey has been there were difficulties that were insurmountable, but we were able to cross all of them with the support of our well-wishers, effort partners, and the other people helping us. I request all of you to join us for the dinner and may not retire before that for the day. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
We are fortunate today to have Honorable Mr. Justice Vikram Nath amongst us today. Your Lordship has been the former Chief Justice of the Gujarat High Court and the High Court at Allahabad. May I request your Lordship to please share a few words on this august occasion.
इस भव्य सभागार में उपस्थित सभी जनों को मेरा प्रणाम. A very warm good evening to everyone. मंच पर आसीन सभी अति विशिष्ट गण, आज के दूल्हा इस कार्यक्रम के जस्टिस खानविलकर, जिनकी वजह से हम लोगों को आज ये मौका मिला है यहाँ एकत्रित होने का और रात्रि भोजन का। कैन फाउंडेशन को धन्यवाद देते हैं इस कार्यक्रम को आयोजित करने के लिए। मैं जब गुजरात में था तो मिस्टर गुप्ता मिलने आए थे। मुझे भाषण देने में बहुत घबराहट होती है और तो मैंने गुप्ता जी से कहा, देखिए ये मैं भाषण नहीं देता, मुझे आप छोड़ दीजिए। खैर वो मान गए मेरी बात। अभी मई के महीने में आज के जो स्पेशल गेस्ट जस्टिस खानविलकर साहब हैं, उन्होंने मुझे आदेश किया कि आपको 3 जुलाई को जस्टिस HR खन्ना मेमोरियल लेक्चर में बोलना पड़ेगा। इनकी बात तो नहीं काट सकते। जस्टिस खानविलकर की जो पर्सनालिटी है वो इतनी शानदार है कि इनकी कोई बात को आप मना नहीं कर सकते अगर ये कहते हैं, क्योंकि जो भी कुछ ये कहते हैं बहुत सोच समझ कर कहते हैं। आपसे कोई बात ऐसी कहेंगे ही नहीं कि आप उसको मना कर सकें। तो जस्टिस खानविलकर का जो मुस्कुराता हुआ चेहरा है ये बहुत आपको धोखे में डाल देता है। ये दिखाई देते हैं बहुत सिंपल मुस्कुराते हुए, मगर अंदर से सब कुछ सोचते रहते हैं। उन्हें पता होता है इन्हें क्या करना है, वो कर देते हैं ये। तो मुझे जब इन्होंने कहा तो मैं कोई जवाब ही नहीं था। हमने कहा ठीक है। कैन फाउंडेशन का 3 जुलाई का फंक्शन हुआ, मिस्टर कॉल भी थे उसमें, इन्होंने भी अच्छा भाषण दिया, हम लोग ने भी बोला। और मिस्टर भटनागर सेकंड सेशन में थे, जस्टिस पार्टीवाला साहब थे। अच्छा लगा। कुछ हम लोग भी सीखते हैं जब भाषण देने आते हैं तैयारी करके, तो उसके लिए तैयारी करनी पड़ती है, तो कुछ ज्ञान बढ़ता है। और अभी तो ये सब फंस गए यहाँ पर। ये जस्टिस ओक की और जस्टिस शर्मा की वो है मिस्चिफ कि उन्होंने मुझे नीचे से ऊपर बुला लिया और भाषण देने के लिए फंसा दिया। दोनों बड़े भाई लोग हैं, सब ठीक है। तो ज़्यादा बातें नहीं करूँगा, किसी और समय कभी होगी तो बहुत सी बातें रहती हैं करने के लिए, पहले से पता होता तो कुछ और आते। बट जस्टिस खानविलकर की शख्सियत और इनकी पर्सनैलिटी के बारे में बस इतना ही मैंने जो बताया आप लोगों को वो है। मेरा परिचय खानविलकर साहब से कुछ 4-5 साल से हुआ। जब पहली बार गया मैं मिलने अपने बेटे की शादी में उनको इनवाइट करने के लिए, तो जिस तरह से उन्होंने हमारी आओ भगत की और जो खातिर करी, तो उससे लगा कि अच्छे आदमी, बढ़िया आदमी हैं। बहुत जगह गए, हम सब ये जगह गए। गुजरात में चीफ थे तो दिल्ली आए थे, दिल्ली में एक फंक्शन किया था, तो आई मेड एन अटेम्प्ट टू इनवाइट एवरीवन फ्रॉम द सुप्रीम कोर्ट। कुछ लोगों से पहले से परिचय था, कुछ से नहीं था। खानविलकर साहब से नहीं था, पहली बार मिले उनसे, बहुत अच्छा लगा।